Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Jets Duo Show. I'm your host, Jude Jets, joined by my lovely co-host, Italy Jet. So how's it going, man?
Man, I'm slacking. I got nothing back here. I got a t-shirt on. I'm feeling festive, so I'm wearing a scarf. But I got a hat on, I got jewelry, I got my stuff on. I'm just slacking today. I'm slacking this week. I think I'm getting the holiday slacks, I think. But there's a lot going on all the time. So it's crazy to keep up with it all when you got so many things going. I know you're very busy as well. So, but I'm
Oh
happy
yeah,
that we're here. Happy to be able to just got a lot to talk about. Holy crap! Just by today.
oh yeah. I mean, just so much stuff has happened this week following the Bills' loss. We
Dude.
got a ton of stuff to talk about, but of course, before we get into all of this Jets topics, we gotta talk about the more important stuff, which is our social medias. So if
Definitely.
you guys wanna find me, this is of course my own channel, Jude Jets
Yeah.
Show. Just subscribe. And then Instagram, Twitter at Jude_Jets, and then Italy Jet. You can take the floor for your social medias.
All right, so Italy Jet on all social media platforms, everything NYJ on all social media platforms. I am constantly busy with soccer, hockey, and football content. Sorry, not soccer, football. Both footballs. Doing a lot of great stuff with Let's Talk Sports. I know there's a lot of other stuff in the works. Look at my Santana Moss interview on the NR show. We might be doing another interview tonight, maybe
Ooh,
with Daniel Wilcox.
oh,
So we'll see. We'll see. You never know, but it's awesome. Love what's coming up in the new year. Love what's coming up for us as well. But yeah, that's where you can see me.
and we got ourselves a first comment. Welcome, NCV man.
Ooh,
How's it going, man?
VC. What's up, VC? You know
So
what?
he's
You know what? Okay, so you're getting an exclusive, Jude, and this guy
oh
is too. I've ever seen this on the menu. We're gonna have some Italian meat. I'm very excited. Got some Italian meat, and then your typical dessert Italian cookies, gelata. We got some cannolis in there, and then the rest of it, like American food. There's a lot of diets. There's a lot of people that are allergic to stuff, but overall, it's going to be like 50% Italian, 50% American. I'm okay with it all as long as I get to watch sports that day. That's all I care about.
amen. Amen. And all that stuff sounds delicious. But let's go ahead and talk about our first topic of the day, which is, of course, the New York Jets losing to the Buffalo Bills last week. We
Yes,
suffered our
sir.
first back to back loss of the season in week 14, which is
Hmm.
absolutely insane to say. And, everyone might be saying, well, the season's officially a failure whenever you lose to the Bills week 14. Oh, we're not making it to the playoffs anymore. Whenever you have your first back to back loss of the season, week 14, I mean, that's a huge improvement. I mean, the New York Jets had like what an 8-game losing streak last season. I mean, actually, never mind. We never lost 4 games in a row last year, which is actually weird. But still, the New York Jets, we would have all these crazy losing streaks ever since 2015, and now we get our first back-to-back loss week 14, which is crazy. But it definitely was an insane game. So what was just your overall reaction, your overall analysis to last week's loss to the Buffalo Bills?
Um, Allen only threw for 149 yards, and White threw for 260 yards, and he kept coming in and out of the game 3 times. And yet we have all kinds of injury issues, Quinnen, but I think they're all going to be back. I think they're all going to be good to go. Hopefully with Quinnen, hopefully everything else. But overall, we should have won this game. Seriously,
Oh
we
yeah.
should have won this game. This game was a winnable game, but it's always tight when it comes to the Jets. It's always tight when it comes to any team that we're facing against right now. But overall, I am shocked we didn't win because it did hurt. But overall, they're ready for us. That defense, Milano. I mean, shoot, I was hoping and praying, hoping and praying that he would be inactive. But I mean, I don't wish injuries on anybody. He's a former Italian, so I got him. I got Milano on that one. But they're ready for us, Jude. I mean, me and you've talked about it so many times. Like they were ready to go. But honestly, our defense kept it in there. Our defense played good at times. We need to go to tackling school again, man. I don't know what's up with that, and maybe catching school again. But overall, defense did good. Mike White, he showed some signs of bad, so some signs of good, but I understand because he's a dog with all the hits he's been taking. The offensive line needs to take care of business, man, because we need to win against this Lions team. It's a very winnable game. It could be a low or high scoring game, but overall, I think Allen, they all took care of business. They took care of business. They won against us. They won against us, and now it's got to move on to the Lions because we have 4 games left.
Yeah, we do have 4 games left, and these next 4 games, I mean, not all of them. We have to win to get into the playoffs. We can do some little maneuvering around, but if you kind of want to guarantee us a spot in the playoffs, winning is an option. And I made a video on my channel talking about every single way the Jets can get into the playoffs. You can check that out after the stream if you have some time. But still, this loss was definitely very much needed for the New York Jets, or not very much needed. It was a loss we didn't need. And if we won this game, definitely would have had a lot better playoff implications on the New
Mm-hmm.
York Jets. Would have basically secured us a spot almost if we kept on winning football games, and would have gave us a little breathing room over the Patriots and the Chargers. But now everything's tied up, and both of those teams won tiebreakers over us as of now. So it just really puts us in a difficult spot. But of course, Mike White getting all those hits was huge for the New York Jets in this game because he only missed 7 plays, but in those 7 plays, Joe Flacco missed a wide open Elijah Moore, which would have had a first down. He also fumbled the ball on the 50-yard line when the New York Jets had a lot of momentum. If Mike White is in for that drive, he gets hurt. If he plays the rest of the drive, the New York Jets probably go down and get some points on the board. If Joe Flacco doesn't fumble, I mean, the Buffalo Bills probably don't go ahead and kick that field goal. I mean, that Mike White leaving for 7 plays definitely affected the New York Jets a lot. And as I mentioned, Mike White got hurt, but he wasn't the only player who got hurt in this game. We saw Quinnen Williams suffer some injuries. We saw Corey Davis suffer an
Right.
injury. Even George Fant got hurt, although he did come back in the game like Mike White. But this Buffalo game definitely took a toll on the New York Jets, and that's just going to transition us to our next segment, which is, of course, the injuries. They were a killer for us in this game. So, what are your thoughts on all the injuries the New York Jets had in this game against the Bills and the players that are even still hurt?
It's going to be crucial. These are very crucial games. It's not only going to suck, but it's like you can't replace Quinnen. Like
You can.
we can have good depth and you can fill it in, but overall it's not fun. This is not fun. Like I hope we can get it together, and I hope we can it Corey Davis going out, he's underrated second best wide receiver on our team. And then Mike White, if he gets hit one more time, like I mean, then Zach Wilson comes in as a backup quarterback. So it's like we got to keep these injuries under wraps because if we want to make a big playoff run, we've got to be healthy. There's just no ifs, ands, buts about it. But I'm worried. I am worried.
And the injuries, as you mentioned, Quinnen Williams, that was a huge injury for the Jets. And even if Quinnen Williams plays out the rest of that game, we could potentially see the New York Jets win that one. I mean, 2 sacks in the first quarter for Quinnen Williams. He was on pace for an historic day. I mean, that's 2 sacks a quarter. I mean, of course, he wouldn't have had 2 sacks a quarter, but I mean, he could have finished the day with 8 sacks. Who knows what Quinnen Williams would have done. But I mean, he was just an
Mhm.
absolute wrecker in this game for the New York Jets, and losing him as early as we did definitely was a killer. And without him this week against the Detroit Lions, we'll talk about it later, but still, I mean, as you said, you can't replace Quinnen Williams. He is a dog. The Jets have great depth on the defensive line. Tanzel Smart coming off the practice squad, probably the
Right.
best practice squad defensive lineman in the entire NFL.
And it sucks
But
about Marshall. Marshall
right,
went to the Steelers too.
he went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so it's just the depth can't replace Quinnen Williams' effect. He's just that much of a dog, and it sucks to see him go down. And then, of course, Corey Davis, huge target in the passing game. Mike White's reliable receiver. And now, well, I don't know about reliable, but I mean, he was kind of the guy that he was there on that third down. He made two big third down conversions for us, and then
Yeah.
sadly, he left the game early. But moving off from the Buffalo game, let's go ahead and talk about some stuff that happened this week. So, something that actually happened not too long ago was the releasing of Will Parks. Of course, he was brought on this off season, didn't make the original 53-man roster, but has been on the practice squads, been active for a lot of games, and has really just been a locker room guy, a good social media person for the New York Jets, and someone that has played, honestly, a huge
A
part.
good social media, right?
Right. I mean, he's been a big reason to why this Jets culture is changing. He interacts with a bunch of fans. Actually, quote tweeted me one time. I saw he was
Oh,
dancing on the sidelines or one time, and I was like, love to see Will Parks getting jiggy on the sideline. And he was like, I can't remember what he said, but he was like, hey man, I'm gonna show it next week or something like that. Everyone liked Will Parks, and the New York Jets posted some stuff on social media after it was reported he got released. Everyone's commenting, why'd you cut Will Parks? Re-sign him. Now the hope is to bring
yeah,
him back on the practice squad, which is good to hear. If of course he goes unclaimed on waivers, if Will Parks is brought back, that's
yeah.
awesome to see. There were some non-injury related stuff going on with Will Parks. He didn't attend yesterday's practice, but he was back today. A whole lot of confusing drama stuff that he said he doesn't want him and his son to get involved with. So there's that. But still, Will Parks is
His
getting
son,
released. It's not
his
going
son.
well, he's just kind of saying like keep him and his son out of drama. He doesn't want to be
Oh,
like just don't talk about him and whatnot. Don't make all these
gotcha,
crazy theories like Jets fans like to do.
gotcha. Yeah, oh yeah,
But
I got you.
but Will Parks, I mean, it's not that he's gonna like because he didn't really do much in the field. I don't think he got a snap in last week's loss to the Bills. But it's
Right.
still like without him, it just feels like we want him part of this journey. We want him here long term. He might not do much on the team, but he's just a good guy to have there.
There's a
Um,
numbers probably thing with the way things are going with because we don't have money. We just
right.
don't have money right now.
And
We don't
then
have money.
and then
Oh,
Samini made a great point too with the injuries the New York Jets have been having as well, and all this type of stuff. Maybe we want to elevate someone to the roster. We're
yeah.
gonna have to cut somebody if Quentin Williams doesn't play. Bring Tanzel Smart up. Maybe we'll go ahead and doing that right now. But
That's what
still,
I'm
just
thinking. Yeah.
right. He's gonna get back on the practice squad. I don't think Quentin
Hopefully.
Williams plays.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Just have him part of this team. We got a comment going on right now. We got NCV Man commenting once again. He said, I'm reading my various posts on social media / websites about Michael Carter and Barrios saying, cut these guys next year. They have made big mistakes, but why are fans so quick to take their heads off?
Well, I mean, NC, I'm going to take this away, Jude.
Fine with me.
NC, Jets fans in general are always favorite of the week. They're always week by week. You're gonna have your fans that will just blow up, and your fans are the level-headed fans. Fans like me and Jude, we're
Right.
level-headed.
We're
Some
level-headed.
fans, some blogs, some social medias, some websites are gonna either be your biggest fan or they're gonna turn on you in an instinct. So Michael Carter and Barrios, I still think they still have bright futures with the Jets, but you're just going to get that. They make mistakes. You're going to hear about it from Jets Nation the next day. Jets Nations will either be your biggest cheerleader or your worst nightmare. And that's pretty much how it is, NC, unfortunately. But that's how Jets Nation is, unfortunately.
It's just the truth. After Elijah Moore got released, or not released, requested the trade, I felt like every Jets fan was just down his throats, me included. I was just so furious after the
I
news
was
happened.
furious too, but then I
Right.
but then I took a week off and then I was good again.
Right. It's just we have this platform, we have social medias, and we like to
Yeah,
comment as soon as we
exactly, exactly.
have a thought on it before we actually let the thought develop or anything.
Mhm.
And before we kind of even talk about it, because a lot of time we let our emotions get to us. I mean, Michael
Yeah,
Carter pissed at him after his performance last week. I mean, that fumble was so crucial, had
yeah,
such a big impact on the game, and 5 carries for 5 yards is not going to cut it. But I'm a huge Michael Carter fan. I got a Michael Carter jersey
yeah.
sitting
That's your boy.
right
I love Michael
behind me.
Carter.
That's my boy. I was actually kind of a little disappointed, although I was super happy the Jets traded for James Robinson. I
Me
was a little
too.
disappointed because I knew it was going to take away some reps from Michael
Me
Carter.
too. Yeah,
And I
both.
was And I was an advocate. I made a video saying I don't think the Jets should trade for a running back like Robinson or Kareem Hunt because I want Michael Carter to have these reps. I was pushing for the Ernest Johnson type of trade, but now of course Bam Knight's taken over the train, so there's that. Who saw that coming? And I just feel like with Barrios too, that catch it sucked, but you got to remember this dude is an All-Pro kick returner. He's good. He's a good special teamer, and he made a huge catch, a huge third down catch against the Bills last week. I mean, this dude can play. He wants to be a part of the team.
Yeah.
A lot of people joking that he's messing up on purpose because Zach Wilson's his boy, trying to get him back in there. But
Mhm.
it is what it is. But mentioned earlier, Bam Knight, he's had this complete resurgence, and it's led to Bam Knight, of course, winning an award for the New York Jets. An award that is very prestigious among the Jets community, which, of course, is Rookie of the Week. So, what have been your overall thoughts of Bam Knight's just complete resurgence? This 3 game stretch he's had. What are your thoughts on Bam Knight?
I mean, what a first off, that's great. I mean, what a thing. I mean, it's we got some of the best depth in the NFL. I think we have sometimes I feel like we have the best depth in the NFL. Just like Coach Sala before we make cuts for the 53-man roster, we're gonna have to cut really good football players like Pennick and Cager. They went to the Giants, and then we had a Kagutry. He went to the Cardinals, and then Marshall now with Steelers. Like we had to cut some very good football players, and we're at this point now where we're still like cutting people because even
Right,
numbers that are really good or fan favorites. Like we have amazing depth, and the fact that Bam wasn't drafted even makes it a bigger and favorable story. You
right,
know, it's very cool to see. I'm very happy for him. Um, I just really think overall it's gonna be he's going to be special. It's just going to be special. It's just more about the playing time, though. Is he going to play James Robinson this week? Is he going to sit Ty Johnson? He Salah has literally everything he ever wants depth wise since he's been with Seattle and the 49ers. Like he's got some amazing depth. And this is just one of those guys that didn't get drafted and he's there. And he's there. He's fantastic. I mean, a guy that wasn't drafted rookie of the week. Like, what the hell? I
right,
love that. But breaking news though, Quinnen did not practice for the second straight time, and I didn't know that.
right.
So I'm a little concerned. So hopefully by Friday or Saturday we can figure something out.
Oh yeah, him not practicing definitely is huge, and it definitely could have some huge implications on this week's game against the Detroit Lions. And before we talk about that, though, we got to go ahead and talk about not our boy anymore, but the guy we all loved last year, quarterback Zach Wilson, who started balling out around this time last year. So maybe he just is a late season quarterback, which is great for the playoffs. But he is going to be active this week for the first time since his meltdown against the New England Patriots, where he
Mm-hmm.
only threw for 77 yards. We only scored 3 points on offense. It was ugly. It was really ugly last time he was in at quarterback. But he's going to be active this week. Is he going to play? Who knows? But a big reason to why I think he's active is because of the scare with Mike White's ribs. Mike White said today, "There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to play this game." So Mike White's going to play this week, but he's fragile. If he takes the wrong hit like he did against the Buffalo Bills, we could see Mike White lead the game, meaning Zach Wilson's going to have to come into this one. Now, maybe the New York Jets weren't done with this whole fundamental reset. Maybe we don't want Zach Wilson to come back in this week, but we have to have him active because nobody at all wants Joe Flacco in there. We saw what he
Well, I mean,
did.
do you want Strevler?
Right. Not really.
I'm not me neither. I don't want him
Right.
either.
I
People
don't
like you
want
got
Strevler.
those Strevler fans though.
Right.
You
You
got
got
them
the
Strevler
Strevler
fans
stand.
that, but like I don't know. I rather have Wilson. I want to
Right.
see what happens. I mean, you can't. I want all three. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned Strevler. There's a reason why he's a practice squad quarterback in the NFL. And I mean, look, I understand Mike White was a practice squad quarterback in the NFL as well. The thing about Strevler is, he's kind of had some game action. He was on the Cardinals for quite a bit, and he
It
actually
was
started a game in Arizona once. Like, it was
yeah, and he
weeks
won the
18.
championship in the XFL.
Right, yeah. So I mean, he has experience, but he started the game for the Cardinals back in
Mm.
2020, I think week 18. Played bad. Like he played like Zach Wilson against the New England Patriots against the Rams, but still, he did not look good. He's just a mobile quarterback, one of those gadget
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
But MCV man, he says it's great to have Zach Wilson back. Only way he plays is if the Jets are up by 40 or down by 40. White is a tough son of a bitch. And yeah, I definitely agree with you, NCV man. I mean, Zach Wilson.
Facts.
I mean, the Jets
Facts.
really want him back, so
Yeah.
we want him back in there. So maybe we see him back in there. But moving on to the Detroit Lions. Can we bounce back against them? Take the floor, Italy Jet.
Any team is winnable. Any team is winnable against because you never know what's going to happen in that game. Lions, they have won 5 out of their last 6 games. But let me remind you of those 6 games. Okay, let's talk about the Packers. Packers aren't doing well right now, but Packers seem to do are kind of getting back, but not really. I mean, I think it's a lost season for them. But
Right.
this is their last six games. I'm gonna start with the Packers. They won 15-9. Okay. Lions 31-30 against the Bears. We kicked the Bears butt. Lions Giants 31-18. Giants are a good team this year. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Bills versus Lions. Bills won 28-25 against the Lions. That's cool. That's cool. You hung in with them and then they just won. Lions kicked the Jaguars' ass 40-14. Okay. Okay. The Jaguars are hot and cold. You never know what kind of Jaguars team's going to come out or
And
Lawrence
Lawrence
is
was
going to
hurt
come
that
out.
game too.
Facts. Okay. Now you got the Vikings and Lions 34-23. Hmm. That's good. That's a very good win. That's a very turnaround confidence win. So they won in 5 out of their last 6, but some of these teams are just like, eh. There's like two. There's like three of them are good. Three of them are eh. So when you're coming against this team and they're a dome team coming to MetLife with cold weather and maybe snow, I don't know. You never know at MetLife.
Right.
So they're beatable. Not really worried about their defense, but their offensive line's good. They got good offense. Goff should be one of the comeback players of the year, in my opinion. They got Jamison Williams back, who scored a touchdown last week. Um, yeah, I mean, they're a good team. They're beatable. Yeah, I think we can bounce back and win, but people are predicting like 31-18, 31-15, 38-10. I'm like, okay, first off, we're the Jets. We're the freaking Jets, okay? I see it to believe it on everything. Everything I do and see and say, I see it to believe it. And I'm also from the show me state. You got to show me. So it's one of those things where the Jets could definitely win 31-18, or it could be 15-15 going in the fourth quarter and they win by a touchdown, or they lose by a touchdown. This
Right.
is going to be a game where it's going to come down to the end because it's the Lions and it's the Jets. We are one of the best fourth quarter teams in the NFL, and we can definitely kick butt in the fourth quarter. But also, we have to raise some eyebrows here with the Jets. I mean, Quinnen Williams might be out. If Mike White plays, he is going to be like, if he gets one hit, he could be out the game. That offensive line has to step up too. Like, there's a lot of things that could go wrong, but there's also a lot of things that could go right. It's going to be anybody's game. I still think we're going to win, but there's a lot of things that need to happen before we win this game. But they're going to be tough.
The Lions are going to be tough. I mean, they are one of no, they're not one of. They are the hottest team in the NFL right now. You
Yeah.
mentioned Jared Goff should be comeback player of the year. I mean, he's been during the 6 game stretch for the Lions. Jared Goff's
Mm,
played like a
mm.
top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He's had an impressive turnaround this season and makes the Lions question what should we do at quarterback this offseason? Do we keep Jared Goff? Do we draft a quarterback? What do the Detroit Lions do? Very interesting topic, but we're not Lions fans, so we're not going to bore you about that. Thing is, I like what you said about the 6 teams they've been on this hot streak against. And you talk about the teams. I'm going to talk about their defenses a little bit. So you play again because a big reason to why the Lions are hot right now, it's not because of their defense, it's because of their offense. Their offense, fourth best unit in the NFL right now. Their defense, though, 31st best. Their defense has not been winning them games. You say defense wins you championships, offense wins championships in for the Detroit Lions. I mean, that's just how their team is built. But you
Yeah.
look at the defenses they've gone up against. 15 points against the Packers.
Yeah.
That was a slugfest. Nobody played good in that game. Rodgers threw like two red zone interceptions. That was just a rough day. They hung in there and they beat the Packers. So that was a solid win. And then they go out, they beat the Bears. 18th
Mm-hmm.
best defense in the NFL, solid unit. It was a shootout game. They came from behind because they had a pick six against Justin Fields. Then they beat the Giants, who had the 25th best defense in the NFL. Beat the
Mm-hmm.
Jags, who were without their starting quarterback Trevor Lawrence for a big part of
Right.
that game. They
Right.
had the 26th best defense, and then they won out, played the Minnesota Vikings, who had the worst defense in the NFL. Last time they played an actual good. Now, I mean, look, they had a pretty solid performance against the Buffalo Bills. I'm not going to knock them off of that. And last time they played a legit defense was the Dallas Cowboys. They put up 6 points against them. Goff got sacked 5 times. Now, of course, the potentially without Quentin Williams in this game is going to be huge for the New York Jets because this dude is a beast on the defensive line. He's a big reason why we're top 5 in sacks right now. But I mean, look, Carl Lawson, John Franklin Myers, Bryce Huff, Jermaine Johnson, Sheldon Rankins, those guys are some dogs. They can produce. We haven't seen what this line has looked like without Quentin. And then those 3 quarters against the Bills, they only had 1 sack against a pretty solid Bills offensive line at that. But still, at the same time, it's just New York Jets without Quentin Williams. How's the defense line going to look? But we also have a fantastic secondary that has held Allen and Kirk Cousins to under 200 yards the past 2 weeks. We've held Diggs and Jefferson to under 50 yards. Like, the secondary is so good. And I really do think we can cool down the Detroit Lions. Because, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Mike White, who's been throwing for over 260 yards in all 3 of the starts of the season, can cook against the second worst defense in the NFL. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind he can do that. So I'm liking the New York Jets a lot in this game. And I mean, you also mentioned a great point. The Lions are a dome team playing in cold New Jersey in December. You never know what's going to go down in New Jersey. We're both not from New Jersey. We don't know what the weather's like. But people out there say it's cold. They say
Mm-hmm.
it's cold. The Lions aren't used to that cold. So I'm
And
liking the Jets in this one.
I agree with you. And also, it's not the same old Jets, and it's not the same old Lions. If anyone
Right.
keeps saying that they both these teams are the same old anything, they're not. They're both these teams are on a good path, and they just need to continue it. This is going to be what's like facing against two good teams that have had losing organizations for a very long time. It's going to be fun to watch. Pull up NC's. We should not take this team lightly. People say Lions are a dome team or a warm weather team. We need to just come out strong and get ahead of them. They gave a great offense, not great defense. I agree with you 100%, but a dome team and a warm weather team does play a factor though. We can't dismiss that. But I do agree with you though. They have a great offense, but their defense is not that great. I totally understand that and I totally get that. The thing about it is it's going to be the battle of the offenses. I said earlier this week is going to be the battle of the defenses. I really do think this is going to be the battle of the offenses now. I am changing it now. So I agree with you, NC. It's just going to be very interesting. We'll see what happens.
I mean, yeah, definitely. Because I mean, if the New York Jets offense can't produce in this game, because our defense has kept us in every single game this season, we've just seen
Facts.
lackluster performances from our offense, which is why we've lost. The 6 games we've lost. But the thing is,
Right.
we're going up against this Detroit Lions defense, and I mean, yeah, the Vikings' worst defense in the NFL. We only put up 22 points against them. They have a very good red zone defense. I'm not sure what Detroit's red zone defense looks like, but all I know is they allow the second most points per game in the NFL with 26. So chances are the red zone defense isn't elite. Although they did have
Right.
those 2 red zone interceptions on
Right.
Rodgers earlier in the
Right. Right.
year.
Right. 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 Right.
But still, I don't think they have as an elite of a red zone defense as the Minnesota Vikings.
True.
Now let's go ahead and get into our closing thoughts. So, last thing to say about the Lions game, Wills Park's release, anything about the Jets, go ahead.
The Jets just need to come out and make a statement. They just need to make a statement that we're still fighting for the playoffs. We have to at least win 3 out of these 4 games. I'm predicting that we win against the Lions, Jags, and Miami, but Miami's going to be really tough. I could totally see Miami coming out and kicking our butts too. But I don't think we'll win against Seattle. But this is a statement win. We got to win 3 out of 4 games. If we can win all 4 games, that's great. But if we just get to 9 or 8 wins, that's not going to cut it to get to the playoffs, in my opinion. So this game has got to be a statement. The defense has come out. We have to figure out the tackling, got to figure out the catching. We got to figure out what's going on with Quinnen and just get a good replacement for him. I think we will. I think that's why Douglas is moving things around. I love what Douglas has been doing, but the Parks thing is very like, okay, I see what you mean, but he's a fan favorite. He's a good player, but I understand he didn't really play really that much last week. But overall, Mike White, you got to protect his ass. He
Yeah.
got injured because of the offensive line. And Milano is just that great of a player. He should be a Pro Bowler this year. He's having a Pro Bowl season. So you got to protect him. You got to get these weapons wide open. Got to use all of them. I don't care who it is. Get the running game involved, whoever it's Bam, James, Ty. I don't care. Whoever gets the wide receivers and tight ends involved. I don't care. Give Rucker some shots. Give Yeboah some shots. I don't care. You got to win this game. Okay? You got to win this game. This is not – we're not overall back here anymore where it's like, oh, we're doing good, and we can go out there and do our best and finish. Yeah, okay. Well, we're in crunch mode now, people. This is crunch mode now, and now we need to win these games. So Salah put a good game plan together. Albrook, LaFleur, stop being cute in the red zone. You're one out of 6. Are you kidding me? I mean, geez, just get the job done. Play football. I know what the New York Jets can do. I think we're going to win 21-15 by a touchdown. It's going to be tight. And if I'm wrong, and if this is a blowout for the Jets, I'm happy too. Whatever happens.
My closing thoughts are give this home crowd something to cheer about.
Amen.
Give some fireworks like you did in that Bears game. I want to see Mike White dialing up to Garrett Wilson, 60 yards down the field, Wilson breaking ankles and scoring touchdowns. That's what I want to see. I want to see this offense play with a life because we need the offense to do something. The defense is keeping us in these games, and now we're going up against a good offense. But the defense has literally been playing well against every single unit in the NFL this season. They can play with the Detroit Lions. We just need to see our offense produce like they should be doing against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. And hopefully they can go out, give some fireworks to the stadium, get the stadium rocking, help us beat the Detroit Lions. If you're going to the game, comment it down below and just help us beat the Lions. Just help because you can play a part for sure. But that's going to do it for today's show. You could all, and let's go ahead and plug our social medias one more time. So you can go first.
NC, thank you for all the comments, everyone, with our journeys. We're doing very well, and we're trying to continue to get good content out there. And we appreciate the comments, appreciate the support. I hope everyone has a great holiday as well. We will be back next week as well on Let's Talk Sports and on this show as well, the Jets Duo show. Overall, you can follow Italy Jet and everything NYJ on all social media platforms and Let's Talk Sports and the NR show on all social media platforms. Always a pleasure, Jude.
Hey, man, always a pleasure doing the show with you too, man. And we're going to have the show on back-to-back days next week. That's what's up. Because we got a Thursday game. It's going to be interesting. So we're going to have back-to-back shows on Let's Talk Sports and the Jets do a show both on Wednesday. We might cram them together. We'll have to see what goes on. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. But it's going to be interesting, this game against the Lions. But if you guys want to find me on social media, as you know, Jets, Instagram, Twitter. This is, of course, my own YouTube channel. So you want to see more of my content, you can just scroll a little down and it will be right there. And then, of course, the social medias are on the screen right here. And then make sure you guys check out Let's Talk Sports. Fantastic organization. I got it linked down below in the description. They have so much content. If you're ever bored, you can check out anything they do. If you're UFC fan but want to watch Formula One racing, go out and check out Let's Talk Sports because they got some content about both of those two things, about every single NFL teams covered on Let's Talk Sports. I mean, just go out and check them out. Me and
Everything.
Italy
And
Jet
they're
both.
based in London.
Right.
They got everything.
They
It's
got
coming
everything.
up. It's coming up.
It's coming up. And me and Italy Jet also do work on there as well. So if you guys want to even check us out more on, Let's Talk Sports, you could do that as well. But that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you for joining me, Italy Jet. I will see you next week. And of course, thank you, NCV Man, for commenting as well. Appreciate the support and everyone who tuned out throughout the show. Peace.